Yes, 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 yes. Game time, Brian, otherwise known as the mailman, coming from my mama's basement, doing my post-game reaction, celebratory win, victory, breakdown of the Cowboys, and I loved what I saw. Was it perfect? No, and we'll get into that. But I really did like what I saw. I don't know how anybody could have a problem with what they saw. There will be some things that I definitely want to get into. But first and foremost, Dak Prescott had himself a game today. He pretty much did what he had to do, minus the one blemish which was the INT, albeit a tipped ball at the line of scrimmage. Kind of unlucky. My guess is if it were Josh Allen or Jalen Hurts or anybody else in the league, they would be unfortunate, Dak Prescott, he was 25 for 31 for 304 yards, 4 touchdown passes, 1 INT. The one blemish was a tip ball by one of the defensive linemen who jumped up, causing the interception. It sucks, but, I'm sure Dak will get hammered for it. If it was anybody else, it would be like, nah, unlucky. Dak, here he goes again, throwing interceptions. But Dallas blows them out 43-20. It really wasn't that close once we knocked Stafford out of the game. I do want to go into the mailbox and go over my selection. When I'm right, I want to make sure you guys know about it. My selection was 34-20, the Cowboys -7, and the over 45.5. You're welcome. We cash another ticket. So I was pretty confident about that. I told you about the devil on my other shoulder that had what Phil had, which is like a overtime or a game-ending field goal loss if everything went the Rams' way. It didn't, like I suspected. But I want to break down some of the stats, and we will discuss some of the things. Like I said, Dak Prescott had himself a game, 25 for 31, 304 with 4 TDs, 1 INT. We discussed it. Stuff happens. But the star of the game for me was no one other than CeeDee TD Lamb. CeeDee Lamb had himself a game, people. From what I saw, he was double-teamed most of the time, and they even shaded a third. So 12 catches for 158 yards and 2 touchdowns. That's more like it, my man. 14 targets. Very, very, very good number one receiver type day. He's a young receiver. The future is bright for CD. We need to get him under contract in the offseason. Keep it up, my man. Brandon Cooks had himself a decent game. 3 for 49, looked explosive with a touchdown pass. This is back-to-back. I think it's back-to-back. Back-to-back games with a touchdown. I like it. Keep it going. Michael Gallup, 2 for 20. There has been a Luke Schoonmaker sighting. He caught a ball. Stone Hands caught a ball. Now, I like Luke Schoonmaker. He'll get better. He's just a young player. Didn't play a lot in college. More of a blocker. Was there a red zone threat as a senior, but he didn't play very many college games. So, give him time. I'm breaking balls, Luke. It's a step in the right direction. We pretty much beat them from pillar to post. Looking at the box score here, let me look at let's see, where would that be? Let me look at the recap. Box score. Well, regardless, we had the team stats. There it is. Time of possession. We killed it. 35-28 to 24-32. Almost Well, that's a pretty substantial NFL victory when you could operate and dominate the ball like we were. The start of the game, now I was having me and both Phil. Phil was live. I had to leave and reset my router. Internet, I think it was more YouTube, to be honest with you, because everywhere I looked, people that were streaming were having problems with YouTube. But be that as it may, I had to reset my modem, and I missed the first series, first couple series is really, but I did see the scoring drive. But what the hell's going on with our offensive line? Like getting Dak killed literally in the two possessions of the game. That was ridiculous. That was absolutely ridiculous. Chuma Edoga, he got hurt. I hope all is well with you, my man. You got rolled up on. You should not be starting at left tackle for the Dallas Cowboys. I understand Tyron was hurt. Go with the rookie. If you're not going to slide Tyler over to left tackle and bring in my guy and primetime's guy, TJ Bass, then at least start Asim Richards. Asim Richards is going to do a better job than Chuma Edoga. Where, like, Asim Richards will be leaps and bounds better next year is getting strength. He still needs to put on 10, 15 pounds of muscle and get strong. That's what he needs. But that can't happen. That's how you get the quarterbacks hurt. Chuma Edoga, coaching staff, please, can you please stop it with this guy? He should be our backup swing guard. How about that? Annoying. Like I said, it wasn't perfect. Far from it. But very, very convincing. It seems like when we win, we're blowing people out. When we lose, I wouldn't call the Arizona game a blowout, but we got blowed out in San Fran, which sets up a big week next week, and we'll get to that. But let me get to some of the other people of note. Tony Pollard, he had a good day, 12 for 53. It's a good average. He looked like he had his burst, but that's where we got to keep him. 12 to 15 carries. That's all we need from you, Tony. I'd like to get Hunter Lepke more involved, but to me, the key person today, early on, me and Phil have been crying for our guy Jake Ferguson to get involved, and Jake Ferguson got involved for 4 for 47 and a touchdown. You need to get the tight ends involved to open up space in the offense, to have the defense think that you might actually go to your tight end, especially down the seams. We need to do more of that. We need to attack the seams more. It may not be necessarily a West Coast type of deal, but it should be involved with Dak Prescott and the Texas coast. Along with Jake Ferguson, I will tell you that the next biggest thing that needs to continue to happen is Dak Prescott ran the ball 4 times for 19 yards, almost a 5-yard clip against the better teams. And I'm not saying the Rams are the better team, but especially with our offensive line not being like the Eagles' offensive line, because I watched the Eagles-Washington game, and I'll get into that fiasco. And shout out to the Eagles. You won again. But my Lord, did you guys get friggin' lucky. But we'll get to it. Dak's going to have to run the ball. Dak's going to have to run to extend the plays. This offensive line isn't your offensive line from old. Terrence Steele struggled at times. He wasn't horrible, but early on especially, he was like a part of one of the sacks of Dak Prescott. Dak's going to have to run the ball. Defenses are going to have to respect Dak Prescott and his legs. He can move people. You see it. And I think he's best when he extends the play, and that's when he makes the plays down the field. So let's see more of that. Let's see if Mike McCarthy can build off of this. That's the one concern I have, is he had a whole bye week to get his act together, right? He had a whole bye week to get his act together. Now, My thing to you is, what's going to happen without a whole bye week? Is he going to be able to put together a game plan to go into the link at 425 next Sunday and be able to compete and hang with the Eagles? We shall see. We got all week to break it down. I think they split. I had them each winning their home game, so you know where I think it's going. But I think we can win the game. The line is only 3 points Eagles favorite. And the reason why that is because Eagles are winning. Shout out to them. They got bailed out by horrendous Riverboat Not. He was anything but Riverboat today. Fourth down, incomplete pass. Everybody in America saw the ball hit the grass, and you don't review it. That allowed the Eagles to hurry up and go to the line of scrimmage, get a first down, and score a touchdown. Then that was all she wrote. They never looked back. Sometimes, listen, Ron Rivera, you don't call the plays defensively or offensively. You got Jack Del Rio handling the defense. You got Eric Bieniemy handling the offense. Your job is game manager, calling the timeouts, talking to the people upstairs, making sure that you review. So you're going to go home with a review in your pocket that you didn't use because of why? It just cost you another loss. You should lose your job, my man. Eric Bieniemy, you should be the next head coach. Ron, you're out to lunch, my boy. I don't understand what you were thinking today. But we got all week to talk about the Eagles. They got the dub. That's all that matters. But let's be honest. That offensive line the Eagles got just gives Hurts all the time in the world. And if we don't get pressure next Sunday, we ain't going to beat them. Which goes back to today's game. And one of the things that we need to do and do better is apply pressure on first down on defense. It seems like the only time we want to come after the opposing quarterback is 3rd and 2, 3rd and 4, third down, when it's kind of predictable. If you saw how our defense is way better playing with a lead, like every defense, but especially our defense by how we attack. We need to be more aggressive defensively, and offensively. Okay, if you think about it, but specifically talking about the defense, excuse me, we need to be more aggressive on first down, setting up second and longs, which that plays into our defensive hand. Offensively, we didn't necessarily run into the line on first down. We did early in the game, but it soon changed. We're going to need to pass to set up the run. That's just the way this year's team is. We still have a couple days before the trade deadline. I'm hearing they will still trade Derrick Henry, but basically telling the teams, unless you offer something better than whatever they're getting, we're not trading him. That's basic. They were just preparing Derrick Henry that he ain't going to go nowhere. He still can. If you saw Gainwell, with the Eagles fumble again, I still think he would fit really good with Dallas or Philly, which kind of scares me because I don't want to see the Eagles get him. They're good enough. You guys don't need Derrick Henry. But very happy with today's game. Not many penalties, which was good. We just need to take a breath. We'll see how we come out of the game health-wise. Make no mistake, people. Eagles are winning, but they're doing it with mirrors. They have a great offensive line. Their defensive line could stop the run, even though I thought that Washington gashed them a few times today. They'll be better with Byard. I didn't see him in there today. Maybe somebody leave in the chat. I wasn't focused on that game that much, but I didn't see him in the lineup today. That's only going to help their team. But a safety's not going to be the end-all, be-all. He's not Brian Dawkins. So everybody calm down. But hell of a move to pick him up, though. You addressed the need. We'll see how that plays out. A.J. Brown had a monster game. And listen, he's a hell of a quarterback. And, he had a monster game. I'm still sticking with my guys. His CD. I'm a Cowboy fan. He's young. But A.J. Brown, he's the real deal, people, obviously. He's making one-arm. He makes one-handed catches look elementary. But Be that as it may, there's a guy who I feel bad for today, Cavante Turpin. Yet another return for a touchdown, called back by a penalty. Behind the play, after the ball was caught on the other side of the field. We can't address that as in NFL. I could see if the player doesn't have the ball, but a block in the back on the other side, on the other sideline, when the ball's already been thrown, that has nothing to do with the tackle or non-tackle or nothing. Why are we calling that? You should be able to pick up the play. I just think it I just think it hurts the league. I really do. I think that it's just stupid. We're calling penalties that have nothing to do with the play. You should be able to go back and go, okay, it was a penalty, but the play was on the opposite side. The ball was already out of the quarterback's hand. The guy was running with it. Let's just use some common sense. This game is way over officiated. So I just think it's ridiculous. But a win is a win is a win. I'm happy. I hope all my Cowboys fans are happy. It sets up a big Sunday 425 matchup at the Link against the Eagles. It's not a do or die for us. I think if we win that game, and obviously it's a 3-point favorite to the Eagles, I think the Eagles, they're going to be up for it. You know, Sirianni, he'll wear his Beat Dallas t-shirt all week, and he'll be flexing in the tunnel, not out in the field in front of everybody. He'll flex when nobody's looking. Yeah. Whatever, bro. You all chesty when nobody's around. But regardless, I had the Eagles winning at home. I think it's going to be tough for us to go into the Link. But, hey, the line is telling me it's going to be a close game. 3 points, that's all you're giving the Cowboys. That means it's a push game in Philly. Why? But we'll have all week to talk about it. But I'm happy. I told you that our offense would go nuts. Deron friggin' Bland, yet again, he leads the league in INTs. 3 pick sixes. He gonna be in the Pro Bowl this year. Big play Slay. Deron Bland is the real deal. In the future, him opposite Diggs, and hopefully we keep Gilmore. Come on now. This kid is the real deal. His second-year player, only came in and played 10 games last year. Had 6 INTs last year. Now he's actually playing the outside. I'm excited. We just got to tweak a few things, but I'm not going to get greedy. Hell of a win, and I only got one more thing to say. Game time, Brian. I am out. Don't forget to check me out tomorrow, 2:45 Eastern, for my lunchtime chat. Here we go. Peace out, people. We coming.